Hello everyone. It's some time we don't see each other, huh? Yes, I've been a bit busy. With work and couldn't stream. But I'm available now. So the only problem is that I think the scene will be a bit small. Let me see if I can somehow plane shift capture. Let me see if I can PS client. Let me see if I can say to this thing to get only the plane shift client. And yeah, this should be a bit better. Okay, so we are doing today. Today, well, we have every 2 weeks we have in game an event which is made just to have the players contact the developers and being able to answer for us to answer questions that they may have, and say to give some updates and news and whatever. So this event is done in game, obviously in the old client, because the new client is not yet available and ready, and so it's done with the old engine. So this is not Unreal Engine in any way. Okay, so this is the old client. Let me just say to everyone that the event is also live. What you say will be recorded. Okay, so if you want to see it, is www.youtube.com/user. I think if I put just PlaneShift official live should be enough, right? Let me check. That's enough. youtube.com or www.twitch.tv/planeshift. Okay, so these are the two URL. We are streaming at the same time on Twitch and on YouTube. Hello Jared, welcome. Maybe tonight I will stream also some development. I don't know. I've been a bit lazy in the last few weeks because I've been very busy with work, and so during the evenings I couldn't really do much. Okay, so I think the event started. We have some people here from the development team, and in particular we have Mordan, which is a very long time. I mean, he's a long time in the development team. He's a veteran, I would say. Venelan as well has been working on settings for a very long time with us and made the majority of the quests that we have in game together with other people. And then Wadjet, which is a game master. So if you want to hear my voice, obviously you can go, yes, one of those two channels. Let me just, I think we can start. I think I had some shortcuts for introductions, right? But not on this PC. Okay, so welcome to the Meet the Developers event, Christmas version. Or Xiosomas version. And yeah, we have a god of nature which is called Xiosia, and is sometimes people, I don't know why, decided to refer to a local event which is the same time of Christmas, but it's called Xiosiamas. I mean, I think it's just because they want to have a way to party or to have a celebration, but they don't want to break the in-game rules. So by mentioning something that is not in the settings in our background. So yeah, there are a few people, which is nice. Yeah, a few people, which is nice. So these are all players. The ones on the stand is ours. The one on the benches are usually players, or and if you mouse over, you can see the names. Maneki, Chown, Gonger, and so on, Zif, and many other people. Okay, so many of these people are very loyal players, say, to our game, to our old game. Consider the old game now, as you can see from the graphics, is not really, say, up to date anymore. So also Anwin joined, so I can say today on stage we have Venalan from settings team, more than from setting as well. We have Widget from Game Masters, and we have Anwind from Rules. So yeah, I mean, it's some people. There are more developers as well, but say not everyone is active at the same time. So I think it's good already to have 3 or 4 developers here. Okay, I think we can start. So this event is made for you. To connect with the developers of PlaneShift. If you have a question, just proceed to the stand in front of us. Comments, ideas, questions are all welcome. Yeah, so usually people say go to the stand, ask a question, we give an answer, and we try to keep it, as what do you mean, Gerald? By you didn't know anyone showed up anymore? You mean that you thought the event was not run anymore? No, it's actually there. The event is here, and if the people don't have question, usually what I do, I give them a bit of an update of what we are developing, and the latest of the game, what we are doing. So we have Zif. Hello, Zif. Hello. Nah, the game didn't die. It's still there. If you connect. No. Sometimes, I mean, if you connect, there is people. Obviously, there is not a lot of people. I mean, you can find like 10, 20 players, something like that. But it's still there, And then sometimes there are events. So if you go to our planeshift.it page, sometimes there are events. If you go here, if you go here, there is a page which lists all the events, and obviously when there are events, there is more people. It's very it's very likely that you find people when there are actual events in game, which are scheduled like twice a week, usually Saturday and Sunday. These are the days where there are more people. But yes, overall, say the players count is very low. I mean, I can understand it. We didn't update really the game too much lately, and I mean, we are adding quests though. We are adding stuff sometimes. So this guy's saying, I am excited about the new quest being created for skill leveling. I have 2 questions. Can you update us on the progress each Saturday or almost Saturday evening? No, sorry, that's another guy. Can you update us on the progress? So yes, we are building some skills quest. So to try to reduce the grind and try to make, let's say, quests that are guiding you through the progression of the skills, which I think is nice. He's also asking how we can help. I think Venel and Morden are the best guys to answer to this question. Venel had disappeared, by the way. I don't know what happened. I think Morden can take this question, or Jet, yeah. So he's saying what Jet, which is one of the game master, is answering, and he's saying 2 music quests are being worked on, and he just finished his second of the craftable item repeatables, which means that we want to have some quests to be repeatable, so to have many different options many different options that you can rerun the same quest, and maybe you get different items or different requests from the NPC. So that's the idea. And so he's targeting to do some music quest. Music is actually a skill in the game. So if you open up the skill panel and you go under, is under various maybe? Yeah, it's under various. Let's say like this one, musical instrument. I have 40 with this character, 40 ranks in this. The skills will be very different with the Unreal Engine, because also this UI, we already remade it. If you've seen the previous streams, we changed this UI to be better, I would say, and easy to say your progression and which kind of talents you are getting at a specific rank. In the current version of the game, you don't have talents. You just progress, and when you progress, you just improve your skill, your ability. So you do things better, but you don't do things different. You don't add new capabilities or talents or features. While in Unreal Engine, we are trying as much as we can to have kind of a talent associated to each skill, and maybe, I don't know, when you reach rank number 10, 20, 30, 40, something like that, you get a new talent. So okay, they're saying nice that he's doing this quest. Blade making and bow making. Okay, these are 2 other skills. Blades is basically generic for all the blades, so you can make like broadswords or other swords, sabre, etc. And bow making. So basically, most of our weapons are craftable in the game already right now, in the old game, and are also craftable in Unreal Engine, because actually I ported the code for crafting. So whatever you could craft in the old client, you can also craft in the new. The only part that is missing are the basic materials. They should be bought from some NPCs, and at the moment there are not all the NPCs loaded into the Unreal Engine game. So that's why you cannot craft everything yet. But you can spawn with /item. You can spawn with a command and use it that way. My first question is done. So what Jet is actually explaining a bit what he's doing for the creation of the quest. So he's saying my first quest a ton of errors. The quest validator is very useful. I want to pop in the thread on the forum. You can see what's going on. Yeah, some people are asking how they can help. I mean, obviously we have a kind of an open development cycle, so we are accepting new contributors and people that want to help. Remember that we do this as a hobby, so we do it in our spare time, but still we are trying to do it in a proper way. He's saying I try to post progress there. Okay, so Widget is saying that basically on the forums you can find the progress and whatever he's making. And so he's posting there some of the updates, so you can go there and check it. Yeah, I think in Unreal Engine we could have some search kind of quests. So what I'm thinking, because at the moment we don't have really a capability to spread like an item across the map, or I mean a specific quest item and then having players search for it. but I think with Unreal we could. And so maybe we can add some capability. I think I need to make a list of all the basic capabilities of Quest and then expand it. That would be something good to have, by the way, just to ensure that we are expanding our possibilities for Quest. At the moment, you can obviously speak with different NPC, have small puzzles, you know, or riddles that the NPC are asking to you. You can collect items and bring items. You can kill monsters and, you know, maybe get some items on a specific monster or get access to a certain location. So these are all the possibilities. But I think we can do more than that. Okay, now they are discussing a bit of how to contribute. So some people want to help, at the same time we don't want to really release, you know, publicly on the forum the full Quest script. Otherwise, it will be a bit too easy to complete it. You know, people can just read the script and just execute and just know exactly what to do in the quest. So that is something that we can. I mean, we can keep, but we can keep only for the people that are really interested in becoming developers or helping us. So will you add the rest of the skill into the new client? Yeah, I can ask your question in the meeting. So there is a question coming from YouTube users. Jared is asking, will you add the rest of the skills in the new client? To the new client, there are not so many you can't use, but still are listed, something like that. So they just change your question slightly just to make it. But I think the best guy to answer that question is Eonwind. Maybe Eonwind, can you answer that? I think it's cool that we have some people on YouTube that are asking questions and people in game asking questions. I think it's fun. So we can do a mix, you know. Let me check if there is someone on Twitch TV, but I don't think so. Anyone on Twitch? Just say hello. Just say hello. Oh, I didn't advertise it on Facebook. I didn't advertise this event anywhere, so that's why also we have little people, but it's okay. Okay, so Eonwind is the guy that did the majority of our rules. Well, obviously together with other people. There is never one guy doing it, you know, everything. But he did a lot of. He created a lot of the mathematics behind our rules, like progression rules or experience and things like that. Even if the basic formula are very, very old, so are coming from many years ago and different people, but let's say all the new ones like the crafting and the bit of the balancing of the economy has been done by him. So he's answering and he's saying we plan to clean up a bit the list of available skills. Now, I mean, in my point of view, it will be good to have, you know, all the skills really available, because there are some that, again, yes, are not fully implemented, but some of them will stay, and for some of them we will create crafting and appropriate training system. Yeah. So I think one of the point also is how to gain those skills, you know. So how, let's say, we train and we progress and we guide the player to acquire new skills. I think that's very important, and that's what we were thinking to have. We were thinking to have yes, like guilds, but NPC guilds, or anyway areas or associations or organizations, you know, like the mercantile organization, something like that, and then you can learn skills related to merchants and trading and negotiation and things like that. So, and having a set of quests that brings you forward in learning those kind of skills. It's already like this somehow, but it's not for all the skills. And so what Enwind is saying is that as soon as we introduce the new skills or we enable the new skills, we will also create crafting and quests and a progression that is and trainings that is connected to that. Yeah, like pottery, glass blowing. Yeah, things like that are useful for role play. And yes, and so yeah, there are many people that are playing characters which have a job, you know, which have a kind of a in-game job, and for this reason, they want to have also the associated skill to actually do something. So, for example, there are people that are role-playing maybe a cook or a blacksmith or a tanner or whatever, and so they are making items for other players or for themselves. So our jet is saying that he's done some events. What it means with events means in-game, in-character events based on those two new skills. So if he's interested in helping to get the skill active, okay, you can contact him. To craft them to power up the characters, so we plan to make them a bit different, less grindy, more fun and easy. Yes, yeah, I think that the progression, you know, in most of the video games, I would say most of the RPG and MMO is very grindy. Is pretty much the same for us, but we are trying to smooth it out. So we are trying to avoid repetition and basically allow progression through quest more than through grinding, killing monsters, or grinding, you know, continuous crafting the same stuff, you know. So, which anyway is part of the progression, but at the same time, you know. Something about the weather. Yeah, the weather will be very different in Unreal. There is a fundamental difference on how the world will be loaded. Right? I can ask this question and answer you. I can type it in game. So I would say from YouTube chat, Jarod asks, what did you ask? Can something over the weather? Can something be done about the weather? Weather should be in more areas instead of just in 1 hour at a time, or just in one area at a time. This one I can answer. So there is a fundamental difference between the current client and Unreal. The world will be loaded seamlessly. I don't know if it makes sense for everyone, but meaning as you walk, more the far areas will load, and there will be no loading screen. Okay, so there will be no loading screen. This means that we need to find a new way This means we need to find a new way to identify weather conditions or weather boundaries, you know. In a new way, so we need to find a new way to say how big is the region where it's raining, you know. It will not be in sectors like it is today, because today is divided in sectors and every sector has its own weather. So when you move from one place to the other, basically the weather is changing, you know. In Unreal, considering it will be a seamless world, then we need to find a way to create these boundaries. It can be simply by coordinates, you know, by XY coordinates, so that we decided a certain part of the world is raining, another is foggy, and such. At the moment, I think is basically only on top of the character and is global. So at the moment in our Unreal Engine demo, the weather is global. So same weather everywhere. So same weather everywhere. But it will change in the future. Okay. Okay. Hello, Aljuvialle. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's take a question in game. There is Darha, which is asking a question, I think. Someone else in the meantime, sorry, because yeah, sometimes we overlap discussions, but someone was discussing about other skills. We are still unsure if we should stay or go. For example, swimming will depend on the new engine capability and the swimming implementation. Maybe we don't need the skills to swim. Well, maybe we can have a skill that dictates how long you can swim and how quick you can swim. So if you are pumping up swimming, you will swim faster, or you can stay maybe underwater for a longer time, something like that. Yeah, there's people saying that there are many skills they want implemented as well. And someone is speaking also about martial artist. Yes, I think that now the martial arts are basically becoming, let's say, talents of melee. So if you are a melee weapon, if you fight with your hands or feet and you attack with that, you have, you know, you have talents that are allowing you a kind of a progression there. So Dara is asking, I'm a little confused. Are pottery and glass blowing being eliminated or just done in a new way? And what Jet is saying, just done in a new way, less grindy. Okay, so there was a cross, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can ask your question in game, Juviale. Ali Juviale in YouTube chat is asking. So you're asking, is it possible to try the Unreal Engine version of the game? I will just expand it a bit, or read more about progress. Well, trying out the Unreal Engine is something that at the moment is restricted only to developers. So we actually have an SVN available. Let me type it also in chat. Trying out the client is actually only for developers, but we have an open development, let's call it open development workflow, meaning that we accept new developers easily. Okay, so we want to accept new people and new developers. They want to help the game and want to help to develop the game and want to help us. So we are, let's say, accepting pretty easily new developers. So if you want to help, develop the game, we can give you access to our internal SVN, which is a subversion, which is just a repository, and in that case you will have to be able to compile the game yourself though, so you need some programming skills. So you will need some programming skills to compile the client and run it. Otherwise, you can wait the first release, the first demo release, let's call it, where we will package the game with an installer. So it will be very easy to install. So we will just you will just download something, launch it, and the game will install, and that's it. So I don't know when we are gonna do this, because it's really a bit time consuming to actually maintain let's say, demo versions, because then you need also to keep up the server up, you know, and everything. So at the moment it's not something I'm planning to do in a short time, but we will have maybe this possibility soon as well. For the second question, which is how to read more about the progress, well, actually, when I develop about the progress on EU, when I develop something new, I stream it on YouTube. So to follow the best way to follow development is actually just watch our videos. So the best way to follow our development is really to watch our videos and to watch the recordings here on YouTube. If you go back, you will see there are 120 something, 125, 130 streams where I was streaming the development. It's only me streaming, because the other people, like the graphical part, is done by Zwei and by Cyber and by a few other guys. They are usually not streaming when developing, but sometimes I incorporate their stuff, and so you will see it on stream. Okay, so for example, now Zwei worked on many new animations and is fixing some of the characters and such. So when I import them into the game, you will see it. Someone is asking if programming is done in C++. Programming is done in two ways. One is C++ for the server side. Well, it's not only the server side, but and two is what is called blueprints. Blueprints are a visual way of programming in Unreal Engine. So I don't know if you know it. You can just search Unreal Engine blueprints, and you will see it. Easily. It is a visual way. I can just search it here, and I can show you if you are connected. So Unreal Engine blueprints. So this is an example. Okay, so where you are, creating nodes. Is like a graph, and is made of nodes, and every node is doing something. So I don't know, you can have a string, another string, make the difference between these two strings, and you have results. Obviously graphics like this are very simple. Graphics like this are simple, but obviously you can get into more complex stuff very easily, and sometimes graphs may become very complex, maybe like this one, where you have mathematical formulas, or you have to do a lot of steps. But I would say it's very intuitive at the end. When you learn a bit about the libraries and the language, it's pretty intuitive. So the second one, the C++ may be a bit more daunting at the beginning, while the blueprints is not too bad. Yes, you can contribute in many different ways. So you can contribute on graphics, on settings, on the story, the lore, making models, making animations, writing books meaning 1 or 2 pages of lore that you can put in game. There are many ways you can contribute, even just testing. So we had one of the guys that is helping us, sometimes he's here also looking at the channel, listening to the channel, that is helping us to just test, so it's just downloading the latest developments, launch it, and see if everything is working okay, and and then reporting the problems, reporting if there are any issues, and so we can fix it. So, and in general, I think if you start to learn Unreal Engine, I think you'll enjoy it. It's a very nice engine, and you can use it for free, up to a certain amount of revenue that you make every month. So there is kind of a limit. But in general, if you use it for personal usage or for an open game like this one, which is anyway free to play, there is no problem. So someone asked, what is PR? Yeah, it's public relations. So it's usually department of most say game companies, where you are like relating with the press, or you are posting articles and news, or you are interacting with the community of players and things like that. So that's the idea. I think at the moment we need more programmers, artists, and music. For example, there is a big work to do on particle effects. We are searching a particle effect guy. We have to recreate all the effects, all the visual effects in the new engine. There is in a real engine there is actually an editor for this. So it doesn't need any programming, but we are searching someone that really can convert all the spells. So basically, taking all the current spells, effects, visual effects, and redo in Unreal. Yeah. So this is a pretty big job, because we have many particle effects. Also, we can make new ones. We can have improved ones, and there is also this new Niagara. I think it's called Niagara, right? Unreal Particle Niagara. Yeah. So there is the new Niagara editor, which is a new way to make particles, which is also something that we should try to understand. I don't know yet if it's something that we want to use or not, but there is a kind of a new editor that allows you to make effects. You see, like here, there is an example of a fire effect, or a smoke effect, or a spiral effect, whatever it is. You can make how many effects as you want. There is really no limit. The limit is only your imagination. And some of these ones we need to rebuild. Akin to see spell effect in Unreal Engine. On the client is out, spreading the disease. We need to particle effect dev. Yeah, will be are created in an editor, where you have to click on effects, set parameters, and provide some graphics like a spark or like a spark or something else. So there is let's say it's a mix. So it's a mix of graphics and just using the application. You are asking if enchanting will be a separate skill. Well, we already have something about enchanting weapons. I mean, you can already today like engrave some gems, and you can put like sockets into the weapons and put some gems into it. This is part of crafting at the moment. Yeah, there should be someone dedicated to particles, I think, because yeah, so I think there should be one guy that does them all. I think would be the easiest, because when he learns how to do it, I think it would be much easier, you know. So it's the start can be slow, but then when you learn how to do it, and I think there are very nice particle effects. And if you go on YouTube, there are obviously.
Hai bisogno di un sito web.
Advertising. As Italian advertising. Okay, we don't care about this. But yes, it is a tutorial, for example, for particle effects, and I remember, I think I've seen this already. Yes, it's like creating, you see, so maybe it's a bit small, but you have the editor, you set the emitter, you say the quantity, the type of particle you want to emit, and based on the parameters that you change, you say like the direction. So like one was pushing up the particles, the other one was pushing down the particle, and then you can decide the spread, the color, the life. I mean, you can decide a bunch of stuff. So, and here is explaining a bit how to do it. Then you can connect this to a mesh, so you could connect it like to a weapon of the characters. I'm just skimming through, but the other good thing of Unreal is that there are many tutorials on it, so it's pretty easy, you know, to learn through the kind of online stuff. The shortcut, I think, will still be saved on the client side. I don't think I'm gonna change it. Do you think it would be a good idea to save it server side? Yeah, I mean, because when you are changing the client, yes, you bring them with you, huh? Yeah. Holy shit, look at this effect. Okay, we are whole healed. Healing rain. Yeah, that's an example, for example, of a particle effect. Hopefully no one crashed. I think saving the shortcut server side will probably be a better idea. The only problem is that you would not be so easily be able to like copy paste or let's say send your shortcut to someone else, and someone else is just putting into the file and uploading. So that's probably the drawback of putting it server side, unless we implement additional capabilities to edit, to massively edit. So I think that there is people that have, you know, that the TXT file, the XML file, is just opening the XML and then doing the changes there. So maybe they feel that it's easier this way than having to do it through the UI. So that's one of the benefits that we would lose if we do it on the server. But yeah, the big advantage is that when you move between one PC and the other, your settings will be kept, right? And probably, yeah. Okay, our healing rain just finished. Okay. I think Emwind answered you in the game. I think if there are no other questions, we can close the meeting. On my side, what I can say is that I'm still working. I can say I'm still working on the guilds functionality. Yeah, it's a bit longer than expected. But I'm progressing well. We did some tests in the last few days, and many command work already, like join guild, leave guild, etc. So like the basic commands are already working okay. Also we have a UI. We also have a working UI. You can see it. You can see it in the last stream video. Last stream video? No, last video stream. Okay, anyway. When is the next development live stream? I have no idea. I don't know. I think maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know. Tonight maybe no, it's too late. But maybe tomorrow. There is a bit of a holiday season, so I think I will move to my winter house. And in the winter house, unfortunately, I don't have a very good internet. I have just a very basic internet, and so I will not be able to stream. During during Christmas holidays, I will try to stream, but in my winter house I don't have good internet. So no streaming possible. So if I'm there, I cannot stream. But if I'm here, but I will not be there all time. I will be here. Okay, anyway. So it's possible. I would like to stream a bit. I would like to stream in the next 1-2 weeks. I would like to stream again in the next 1-2 weeks for sure. No, the development goes in parallel. So the old client and the new client are developed in parallel, let's say. So the fact is that in the old client we are trying to do as little as possible. Okay, so unless there are very major bugs, we don't touch it anymore. Okay, so we don't touch it anymore. So we only do fixes if something is really game breaking. So most of our effort at the moment is on the new client. So they are, but yes, we already have a new client. The new client is up and running, and is only for developers at the moment. So it's just an internal version, but it would be available to players sooner or later. So someone is asking about Claymore, because they say that they are not good enough, too slow compared to polyaxis, and yeah, delay on a polyaxis is 3 seconds, or anyways 3, and is 5 on a Claymore. Okay, so probably the difference in speed of the two weapons is not really justified in terms of affecting the game. So let me check the calendar. I think 23. So I think tomorrow I will be. Maybe I can stream a bit in the afternoon. I will try to stream tomorrow afternoon. Okay, before leaving for the mountains. So I will try to stream tomorrow afternoon European time. Before leaving for the mountains. So I will try to stream tomorrow like at 2 p.m. my time. Maybe we can do something like from 2 to 5, like 3 hours from 2 to 5 tomorrow afternoon. I think it will be good. And then I will leave. I will stay probably in the winter house like 3 days. Yeah, 2 or 3 days. So maybe I can stream again at like 27, 28, 29. I mean, these days I can stream again, I think. Okay, so some people are discussing about the effectiveness of certain weapons like polearms versus claymore, and the fact that yeah, again, it's not fully balanced. I live in Italy. I live in Italy in the northwest, close to the Alps. Yeah, I think we can have a DPS like yeah, we should have a DPS settings, or anyway, DPS report on all the weapons and see. I mean, the new system I think will be easier, but where do you live, Jared? In which time zone are you? At the moment for me is 10:55 p.m. So the stream will be like in 14 hours from now. 12, yeah, roughly 15 hours from now. Yeah, so for you will be a bit early, I think, because 3 p.m. For me, which is 15, will be like 7 a.m. your time. So not the bad. If you are -6, I think, or -7. No, maybe 9. Maybe 9. Yeah, North Carolina, I think is minus something. Time in North Carolina. It's 4:50. So well, it's not too far. It's not too far. So at the moment for you is 5 p.m. For me is 11. So it's 6 hours difference only. 6 hours. So if I stream at 3, it will be for you. It will be like 9 o'clock, 9 in the morning, and I will stream for about 3 hours, I think. And so yeah, between 9 and 12 your time. I don't know, maybe you have to work tomorrow or do something else, but Okay, now people are starting to discuss in details this thing about DPS and how much the weapons are effective or not. So it becomes a very specialized discussion here. Someone is saying you become a sitting duck with the claymore. So like it's too slow. You cannot really do much. What we can do in the next stream is to just finish the tests on the guilds. There have been some mistakes and errors on some of the commands. I have to fix them, so we can do that. Yeah, we try to keep this 1 hour. It's becoming a bit longer. Do you want to see my inventory? It's a bunch of random stuff. Oh, because I just use it for testing. I don't really, use it. I just spawn items as needed based on, based on what I need to test. One big work that we are doing is also to import all the assets from the old game to Unreal. So for example, if I put on this shield, I cannot because it is a kind of a two-handed thingy, but you see if I put on this, you see this shield getting put on my character, and yeah, and this one is one of the assets that we ported already. So like this staff, I think we have it already as well. So there are a lot of items in the old game that we want to reuse. Basically we want to use all of them if we can, and then maybe we can improve them as we go. But okay, so blah blah blah, you can contact. Someone is writing me into Alliance, and someone is saying the bomb making quest goes to the NPC suggested. This guy standing, blah blah blah. Okay, so there may be spoilers if I read the personal channels, but the Alliance I think is only Game Masters. Okay, they continue to discuss about this. I don't know. Okay. Spellbook. You can custom spells meanwhile. Defensive wind on myself. Whoop. There's no audio, I think. There is defensive wind. You see the low. So this kind of effects is what we need, what we need to port, apart from the small table writing, but this kind of effects is what I'm thinking, that we have to port for in Unreal. At the end, are very simple. Like there is, one image, like with all these symbols that is just rotating around the character, and some halo, some transparency thingy. So it's not too complex. It's pretty, and I think we can make them better. By the way, we can make them more interact. No, not interact. More. I mean, we can make them better. Is the Discord published on the site? Yes, Discord is quite useful. It's a client. You can just open a tab in a browser. That's what I do. Yeah, if you want to have the Discord link, I think I can put the Discord link somewhere. Let me do it. Boom, I just copy this invite and I just put it here, but I also have to paste it some let me see, http slash slash, no, https. HTTP doesn't exist anymore in this world, right? Discord.gg slash crq-g9h. Is this something? I think it's probably so. That's the Discord link. We will see if people start to join, but Venelan is asking which version we are using. We are using 4. Let me double check. Why? Our version is 4.20.3 release. So that's the thingy. It's in our wiki. I can just copy those things at just 5 lines. I hope I copied it right, but I think I did. Okay, I think we can wrap up the meeting. We can wrap up the meeting. Thanks for participating and Merry Christmas to everyone. As I said, I will try to stream tomorrow. I will try to stream tomorrow at 14 Europe time. I mean, Europe means Central Europe. Okay, so I think that will close the stream. And I wish you Merry Christmas for every one of you. But we will speak again tomorrow if I keep my promise of streaming. But I think I will. And so I think we will see each other tomorrow afternoon. And so we can. Wow, my defensive win is so long. How much does it last? It's still 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Seems a very long time, by the way. Okay. Bye. Goodbye, boys. Speak to you soon.